Well, hello y'all, and welcome back to Apron Strings. I'm going to revisit a recipe that I've made before, and it's one of my favorites, and when people make it, it's one of their favorites. And I call it cheatin' lasagna. And I told you before, a friend of mine, when she married 50 years ago, the ladies in her church made a little recipe book of their favorite casseroles and so on, and this was in there, and Pam shared it with me. So what I'm going to do today is cook everything the same way, but I'm going to assemble it in some little freezer containers. But it's about 2 or 3 servings per container instead of doing a 9 by 13. And I'm going to freezer bank me some meals, or if I had a friend over, it would be enough for a couple of people. But it's the same recipe, made the same way. And y'all, you really do need to try this one. It's just one of our favorites. It's as good as any lasagna, and it isn't hard to make. So the first thing I'm going to do is open up my ground beef and get it browning. I'm going to add some onions and bell peppers to it. You don't have to do that. And then I'm going to add some of my minced garlic. And then we will go to the next step from there. So let me get my meat open, get it in the pan, and we'll get to cooking. Okay, I'm just going to get my beef in there. Get my fire on medium. And once the beef turns that gray looking color and it's starting to cook, then I'm going to add my onions and bell peppers. Sometimes I do the onions first. Today I'm going to do my beef and then add the onions and peppers to it. And then when they're done, I'll add some garlic to it. So I'm just going to break this up a little bit. I've got one of those things that breaks it up, but this works too. I'll get this done, show y'all the color that it is when that's olive oil in the skillet, a couple of rounds of olive oil. Because this is grass-fed beef, and it's not as fat as what I get in the store. Alright, I'm going to let this brown. Be back in a minute. Okay, my meat has started to brown a little bit. I'm going to this is a large onion, and that was 1 pound of beef. If you like it meatier, you can add more meat to it. I didn't want my onions to caramelize, I just wanted them to wilt and get soft. Now the bell peppers are some I grew, and they've been in the freezer, so they're pretty soft. In other words, there won't be any crunch to them, but the flavor will be there, and it'll add some color. I wish I had some red ones, but I don't think I have any red ones in the freezer inside here. Get my bell peppers over here, and this is a sure sign that I won't be sharing this with the family because they don't like bell peppers. I love this little taxi. They call it a food taxi at Sur La Table. I sure do like it. Now y'all, this meat like this and seasoned, if you didn't want to make lasagna out of it, you could cook you some white rice and put you 2 or 3 cups of white rice in it and serve it with some pinto beans or something like that. It's delicious. You can also shred cabbage up in it and let the cabbage cook down. And I like to add a can of Rotel or diced tomatoes, and it makes a wonderful dish. So there's a lot of things you can do with your ground beef with onions and peppers in it, or just onions, or however you want to season your meat. I'm going to add some garlic to it. And even though I'm adding onion and garlic, I still like to do, and that's a lot of minced garlic, but you know how I like garlic. I'll still put onion and garlic powder in it also. I'm going to add a package of onion soup mix, just for a depth of flavor. I use that a lot, y'all know that. And I ordered mine from Amazon, and I got the Lipton's brand. Doing it that way and watching the sales, as cheap as I would have gotten the off-brand at Aldi's, but I'll just tell you, Aldi's is just as good. If you can't find it on sale, unless it's gone up, it's less than $1 for 2 packages in a box. The beef bouillon in there really adds some flavor to whatever you're fixing. I'm going to add some onion and garlic powder. And y'all have a recipe. This is garlic. That minced garlic is not as strong as fresh for some reason. Onion powder. I'm going to add some black pepper. I do have a link down below for this ratchet pepper grinder. And I'm not going to salt it until after a while when I taste, because the bouillon in the onion soup mix would be salty. Out this morning and got my little bitty tiller that runs off of a battery and started tilling in my raised bed some. It's 70 degrees here today. That feels like spring, but they're saying end of the month we're going to have another cold spell, so I really can't plant. But I can go play like. Alright, okay, it's seasoned good. It doesn't need any salt. And now I'm going to add a jar of tomato and basil spaghetti sauce. You can add whatever you want. And you can, I may add two jars, I'm not sure. Put my lid on it where I can get all the goodie out. I usually rinse these jars out and stick them under the cabinet, and then when I have something to put in the garbage that's liquid, I just put it in there and put that whole thing in the garbage. Now I made this when I had my ladies gathering, and I served a huge pan of this and a huge pan of chicken spaghetti. This is what was eaten, all gone. I had chicken spaghetti to put in the freezer, so it's a crowd pleaser, y'all. Alright, I'm filling my pot, getting ready to boil my egg noodles. And the only way to get flavor into your pasta when you're cooking it is to put it into the boiling water. So I'm going to add some garlic powder to this water. And a little onion powder. And then when it gets to boiling, I'm going to add salt. And my Italian friend, Susan, says salt it like the sea. So I'm going to salt it real good. And then we'll get on to the next stage of assembling our casserole. Alright, my water's boiling. And I'm using just a package of, I like medium egg noodles. These are the extra wide. That's all they had. So that's what we'll use. If you wanted to use lasagna noodles, you could. The reason I use these is because we stir some stuff into the noodles. Get back over here. You got to be cooked. And that helps add to the flavor. So I've salted it real good. It boiled over on me. Y'all can see that. I'm going to let those cook for about 8 or 9 minutes and check them. Then I'll be right back. Okay, the noodles are al dente because they're going to cook a little bit more when you're heating it, melting your cheeses. So I'm just going to drain them, and I'll meet y'all back at the butcher block, and I'll show you what we're doing next. While the noodles are hot, I've drained them really well. You're going to put in 8 ounces of cream cheese, and I softened it. I just left it out to get soft. It just helps it to blend in quicker. If you want them cheesier, you can add more, of course. This is all I've ever done to 1 package of egg noodles. Just want to stir that in there till it's melted and creamy. Y'all, I got spring fever so bad. I really, really, really want to plant some vegetables and some flowers. Got a big old bed down the front, the wood fence that fences the backyard, the side that's in the front at the end of the house. I want to plant zinnias, and I hope they do good and they make a pretty showing from the road. See, I don't know if y'all can see it or not, but the cream cheese is melting. It's getting creamier in there. Now, one reason for watching a video till the end, I do some stuff sometimes that's not on the recipe card. It's just according to how I'm feeling that day, what I do. So I am going to add some seasoning to this that's not on the card. Okay, I'm going to need about 2 cups, about 16 ounces of sour cream. And I'm just going to guesstimate it. That's about a cup. And that's about a cup. Because I bought the big old thing. And I have to dip out of it. Okay, let me stir that in. And if you smear it around like that, once it's already soft enough, it's much easier to stir it in. If you cook your noodles too soft, they'll tear apart while you're stirring your stuff in, so you don't want them real soft. You just don't want them to have any crunch left in them. Okay, I'm going to put some onion and garlic powder. I did put some in the water, but I still want them seasoned good. And I'm not measuring, I'm just sprinkling. That's garlic, onion. And this is an Italian seasoning that I got at Home Goods, and it's oregano, basil, and tomato. And I'm just going to sprinkle some of that in. And I did sprinkle a little of it in my meat. And then these would be good just eat by themselves. Oh, get back in there. Okay, let me get a spoon over here to taste of them. I don't need a huge bite, just a little bite. That's good. I changed my mind about putting it in the little containers because we're going to eat some of it, and then I'm going to put what's left in the containers and freeze it. So I'm ready to assemble it. I need to get my dish and spray it with Pam, and then I'll show you what we're going to do. Okay, I've got my, this is a Pampered Chef baker, and I've got it stoneware, so I've got it sprayed with Pam. And what you want to do first is put you a little bit of your meat sauce in the bottom. You don't have to cover the whole thing, but just a little bit. I've just got it kind of around in there. It's not totally covered. And then we're going to put noodles. Sometimes I chop up black olives and put a layer of black olives. I didn't want to mess with that today, so I'm not. But this takes the place of some of your cheese and your lasagna noodles to have the sour cream and cream cheese here. Then I'm going to put some mozzarella cheese. I'm just going to cover my noodles. And a little bit of the Mexican blend. Then I'm going to put a good layer of the meat sauce. And just spread it around on there. And I know that what I take for granted of knowing what to do when you're just starting out, you're not that comfortable with it. But this is something that's very easy that anybody can make. And these ingredients, I think, are available anywhere. Now, I like when I start layering to put cheese on everything. And I know it's fattening. Everything that's good is fattening. Alright, now I'm going to put some more noodles. Oh y'all, this is so good. All that cheese melted in there. You can do it in little individual dishes and, you know, serve garlic bread and a salad in their own little individual dish of this, cooked in separate little dishes. I want to get all this goodie out of here, so y'all have to bear with me a minute. For one thing, I don't want it going down my drain. And another thing, that's money. Okay. Now I'm going to put a little bit more cheese on the top of the noodles. This is a good game day recipe because you can make it way ahead of time and then just pop it in the oven when you get ready to serve it. So the cheese is all melted, it gets bubbly on the top. You got it done. If you do this and get everything out of it, it makes cleanup a lot easier on your pans. I know y'all can't see nothing but the bottom of the pan, but I'm just getting all the sauce out. Get this done, I'm going to top it with cheese and put it in the oven to melt the cheese and get it all hot and bubbly. I like to serve this with a salad and garlic bread. I don't think I even have enough stuff to make a big salad today. I hadn't been to the store. Let me clean it up a little bit. Put And you could use, I've done it before when all I had was cheddar cheese, and it's good. But if I plan ahead, I try to have, I usually always have the Mexican blend, but I try to have mozzarella too. Okay, it's ready. I'm going to get it in the oven. The June oven is hot. See it? Okay, let me get it in the oven. And I'm cooking it at 350. So I'm going to get the mess cleaned up. I'll be back when it's done. Okay, y'all, here's the casserole, and I took one little serving out of the corner. Isn't that pretty? In just a minute, I'm going to show you the bowl that I put it in. And here's the serving that I took up that's in the picture for the video. Y'all, this is one of my favorite things, and I don't have it that often because it is fattening. But look at me, I don't worry too much about fattening. I got to cool it because it's very hot. But I'm a taste of it. I can blow on it because I'm going to eat it. That's my germs and my food. To me, that's just as good as lasagna with all the stuff that you put in it. And what I'm going to do is, I'm going to cut it in servings and put it on a cookie sheet and freeze it. Then instead of putting it in those little black containers with a plastic lid, once it's frozen, I'm going to vacuum seal it in the bags that come with my vacuum sealer, and it'll keep for a year or better in the freezer. And that way, because if I put it in the other little containers, it will freeze or burn. If you vacuum seal it, it'll keep. So if I get hungry for some, I can go pull me out a serving, and won't have to go cook a meal at the stove. I thank every one of y'all for sharing the channel. Some of you are hyping it for me. I appreciate that. It is growing and my money's going back up. I'm very thankful to the good Lord for it. I've got a lot of new subscribers, and y'all, I'm just me. I don't put on airs. I don't try to be fancy. I can dress up and I can walk with the best of you. But I'm comfortable at home just doing my thing, cooking and working in the garden and sewing. I'm going to have an apron video coming up soon. I've had about 15 people ask me about aprons. Hopefully this coming up week I can get a video up and show y'all what cloth I have and let you make your choices, and I'll get busy sewing. Mother's Day's coming up, and an apron is a good gift for Mother's Day for your mother, your aunt, or yourself, your daughter. So I'll try to get a video up this next week, and it'll just be entitled Aprons for Sale, and that way y'all know to go look at it, and the instructions for how to order will be on there. The good Lord bless y'all. I'm fixing to go eat me some lasagna.